Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am back. It's been just a few minutes since the end of the last episode. I got up, I went and used the bathroom, and then I decided, hey, you know what? I kind of want to watch another one. And so I'm going to watch another one. I did another drawing. We had Regulus' Cornelius' face, and now we have one of these weird sickle sword chain things. I've still got my blanket because it's still freaking freezing despite being a little bit later in the day, and I've still got my tea, although it has cooled down, and I'm ready to go ahead and dive into another one. We focused pretty heavily on Regulus Cornelius in the last episode and getting our way to finding some kind of secret, his Achilles heel, if you will, and discovered that his heart does not beat, for he is stuck in time, frozen perhaps, and that seems to be the nature of his authority, to stay exactly as he is. Perfect, complete, fulfilled, the perfect man. Or at least that's what he says. But at the end of the episode, we sort of turned our attention elsewhere, and given the title of the next episode, I feel like we're not going to turn our attention back to Regulus Cornelius, at least for a little bit. So, I'm excited to flesh out more of the different battles that are going on across our city, and I'm really deeply intrigued by this little hint of interesting stuff that we dropped around Priscilla. Priscilla has, since she began to emerge upon our screen, been a fascinating character to me. She's cool, she's hot, she's interesting, she's at odds with us, but she's very mysterious. She's got her own set of principles that she runs by. We learned that very quickly when Subaru and her first interacted, and she really shit on him. And her own things that she seems to be going for, and she doesn't seem like anybody else. You know, we can look at Anastasia Hoshin and be like, money, business, okay, power, that makes sense. Acceptable, straightforward. We look at Priscilla, and it's like, who the fuck are you, actually? And also, you can fight? We look at Crucius, like, okay, you can fight, you're the head of your household. You've got this family pressure to be somebody, and also political and social pressure to be somebody and to take care of your people and your population. You're in power. Priscilla's just her and Al, and a sword that's on fire, and the implication that she has some great power from elsewhere, and that she has seen some shit and been through some shit. Priscilla is fire and Amelia is ice. Just on that alone, Priscilla is built to be an interesting foil for Amelia as a character. Who is she, really? How is that going to come up as she interacts with and fights with the very loving, very caring, highly empathetic, empathy leaning on for their power, Sirius Romane Conti? I don't know. Let's find out. It seems like Sirius Romane Conti knows something about Priscilla. Knows who she really is? Or stories that have emerged from her legend? I have no idea, but I'm fucking excited to find out. So let's go ahead and watch episode 11 of ReZero 3, Season 3, titled Liliana Masquerade, and maybe we'll get to find out a little bit about the little bard, too. They did just make out. That's a thing. What the okay, that's a thing that happened. Beep beep timer, we're watching the episode. Okay. Okie dokie, beep beep timer. There'll be two versions, picture in picture in the description. Beep beep timer to beep beep timer to beep beep timer to beep beep timer. Beep beep timer. She looks younger. I wonder who that voice is. Odorimas. Okay, who's that voice? Okay. So this is great. This is where she learned the trade. Plong. Plink. Yeah. Yeah. Vibes. Shut up! Smack. Peaceful, peaceful. Man, I wonder what horrible thing is gonna happen to her parents. I'm so sorry. Laying the accents on thick. Oh. Mmm. Yeah. Yeah, you will, Liliana. You be king of the bards. Oh shit, careful what you wish for. If you wish for a really good story to tell, you might have to experience a really fucked up story. It's like the, oh, what's the great curse? I wish you to live in interesting times. Yeah. Yeah. I want to be a great bard. Oh boy. It's like saying I want to be a hero. You better be fucking ready. She fine. One shattered gem. Oh. Truly. What was that? She detests wrath. Okay. What do you think, Liliana? You're the one who connects with people. A twisted misunderstanding of it. Priscilla, Priscilla, Priscilla! Thank you. Uh-huh. Correct. Uh-huh. So you preach connection. What? Priscilla, how old are you? Priscilla, how many thousands of years have you lived? There are stories about you. There are fucking legends about you, lady. What the fuck? I'm sorry, I gotta hold on here. Hold on, what? This scene's real cool looking. I'm stuck. What? Well, something's different. Okay, they're just on fire. That's fine. Fuck. Whoa. You're running out of valuables, Priscilla. Well, maybe not that fast. Sure. That's really powerful. Go have fun, Lily. Fucking holy... It won't burn you. She didn't decree it. Fucking holy fire? Silver holy fire? Jesus Christ, are you... Who... Are you... What... Laryl Silverhand? Laryl Silverhand, that's who I'm thinking. What the fuck? What the flaming sword and everything? Let's go, Aww. Listen to my song! The reality, huh? Oh, don't eat that. I know enough to know that that one's not good. Oh. Someone pick you up. Some kindness, huh? You got it, Liliana. It begins with one. Every bit of passion in my body will be poured into this, huh? Don't run, don't run. Oh! No, 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 no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sorry, this might hurt me. Because that's what it's all about, is telling stories. And I've only been able to tell other people's stories. Yeah. Yeah, strange harmonies. Is that the song she'll sing up here? Like raging against the beauty of a morning, as though that will stop it. As she awakens all of them. It's kind of cute. Get out of here, Kiritaka. She belongs to Priscilla. That ship goes one direction. Fucking Disney princess bullshit. Real connection, real empathy. Oh shit. I think... Oh! Okay, we're going to phase 2. She got hit by that. She really is able to deflect into property. Whoa. Yeah, as if. Tell me she's on top of that. Yeah, fucking crazy. That's awesome. Holy shit. Yeah. I feel like it's not. Ah, shit. It's not gonna work. Beautiful. Fucking awesome. All she wants is to be understood. We don't give you that. We fully don't give you that. No, no, not into the water. No, come on. No, 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 no. No! Fuck, hold on to the body. Dang it. Somebody go get her. Somebody go get her. No, 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 no. Somebody go get the body. What? Count yourself lucky, you bore, as though something different was going to happen if the sword got more hot. That was what I felt from that. And then that's like related to the song too. What the fuck? What the fuck are you, Priscilla? Priscilla, what the fuck are you? What are you? Aww. God, that would have hurt. Oh, good night. She said she won't die. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, there's still like a minute and a half left at the end here. Will we turn back to Regulus Corneus or elsewhere? That's the question. Holy shit. So, if we're to believe this, which I don't, then Priscilla just killed an archbishop. Like that. Used Liliana to neuter the hostage-taking effect that she has and just battled her down. With so much ease that it's not her episode, it's Liliana's episode. I'm sorry, who the fuck are you, Priscilla? What the fuck? What? Oh, we're turning back here. Right. Right. Oh. The heart of the lion. It's not about think. You seem very upset that I'm saying this. You've got to go fuck all his wives. If they're not virgins, then he'll have no power. Amelia's got to go fuck all the wives. Yes! Victory will be ours. I'm sorry for starting the discussion here on such a silly note, but we end on such a silly note. That's so great. Okay, so we'll be turning our attention back to Regulus. This is very cool. I like how we're patterning this. It makes a lot of sense to me. Lion's heart. Oh, man. This makes me think that I should really go through and look at all the other star names. Yeah, seems like I should really do that. And look at them both in Latin and in Arabic. It seems important as well. Awesome. Our dual focus this episode is on Liliana and on Priscilla, and I don't know which one to start with. Because one of them makes me cry and the other one makes me really excited. And Priscilla's element is just cool. It's just really cool, especially woven in with the mystery of who she is and what her deal is. She has had 8 husbands. Now, she's a beautiful young lady. That can totally happen. Have a husband dies, have another husband dies, have another husband dies, have another husband. In your, like, mid-20s is where I put Priscilla? Yeah, I don't think so. I think Priscilla's hundreds of fucking years old and is the origin of a bunch of weird stories. What the fuck does that actually mean? And she's now a part of the succession for the throne. For real. Why? Who is she really? Like, what's her deal? And where does this power of hers come from? Because one must admit that it's strikingly similar to an authority. And that's we've had blessings too. We've got divine blessings. Those are interesting. But, like, we don't indicate what Priscilla's power is. It's very similar to what greed has. Damage to her, and we see it once. We see it really happen once. Fatal damage to her gets pushed over to an object. She's able to shatter objects. Like phylacteries. So no wonder she must acquire powerful things. It's closer to my understanding, like my guess last episode at what Regulus Corneus' ability was. That he gains power from, like, the strength of belief in them. And I made this joke about, like, a dragon who gets their power from their horde. But Priscilla is very much like a dragon who gets her power from her horde. Fire and all. Fucking interesting. She has a complete control over a, like, divine fire. A legendary sword that she's able to put into hammer space. And take out that burns only through what she wants it to. That's like, she is a powerful character. And we have no handle on why or how. None. She doesn't want it known. Really interesting. Okay, so the best shot in the episode is the one where Priscilla strikes, right here. Right here, sorry. We do this perfect slow turn with all the effects stuff holding. Just gorgeous. But most of this battle happens sort of in the background on the side because we frame Liliana's performance as the centerpiece of the episode. What a cool idea. I think what that does for me is it makes Priscilla more impressive. Because a battle with an archbishop is like the biggest thing we could possibly have, and it's the sideshow because Priscilla is not bothered. That's really cool. And then we weave into it really strong part is Liliana's becoming a bard and her journey to become one. And to understand kind of what that means is the way that I take it. And then a really weak part is weaving in Kiritaka's love for Liliana. And like, oh, you'll be my songstress? So weak. So dramatically weak. Shockingly unnecessary for the episode. But fine. I want desperately to know who Liliana's mother's voice actress is. Woo! My God, you could not have cast a better voice actress for the mother of the singer. That's Nana Mizuki, motherfucker. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody in this episode says, listen to my song. I know it. They didn't put that in there for bullshit. That was for real. Oh, I hope. Oh gosh, that's so cool. That's so cool because it's such a Symphogear episode. It's so silly. That's so silly. My brain is so rotted out from the inside by Symphogear bullshit. And it's been years and it's just so close to my heart. The masquerade troupe will now sing for you. And she begins to sing. It's like, who? God, it's so like crystal clear and perfect, but it's got this depth and smoky darkness to it where you're like, I know that this person could do that classical Japanese singing style that I would hear in a jazz club or an izakaya, but instead she's singing cool, like crystal clear pop almost. What's going on here? I know what's going on here. That's Nana Mizuki, the best who's ever done it. Fuck. Awesome. So we start with this admiration for the bard, for the parent who's the bard, and then that turns into this desire to become the bard. She starts looking up and connecting constellations, which brings all of the thematic element of constellations and stuff into Liliana in a strange way. It doesn't quite click, but it's close enough that I feel gears turning in my mind. I'm like, oh, she's invested in constellations and making stories out of them, making stories out of the stars. She builds a bad song out of that, right? So we do this montage and these moments of conversation that set up her peaceful quiet, the beauty of this kind of life, with a little sprinkling of the hardship of it. Can't quite go to the cities there. We do our part. We do our level of thing. We stay with ours. We do our village. And it's because of that I thought we would get some real horror here. Like, her whole family's going to get eaten by Maju. That's what I thought it was going to be. But no. She wants to sing these tales of great heroes and makes herself out to be one too. I'm going to be king of the bards. I'm going to be a great hero. I'm going to go to the cities. And she does. As far as I can tell, she's run away from her family. That's what I have to guess here. We'll turn to that in just a second. Ching! What a cool power. Valuables taking damage instead. Even Iris and the King of Thorns would go pale in comparison. Do not keep calling her out on this shit. She doesn't like it. She does not like it. She's going to kill you. She's going to kill you. Loathsome cur who pries into the pasts of others. What a trespass. Again, sort of similar to Regulus Corneus being like, you're violating my rights. So interesting. We spell out Romani Conti's perspective on wrath really crystal clearly here, which I'm grateful for because, as I've said before, I have trouble wrapping my head around the exact way that the archbishops interact with their authority and the word that they're around. She detests wrath. So she sees it in the other, she detests it, and she wants to seek this all filled with joy through connection. But it's all lip service. So over the course of the episode, we're going to call this out for what it is, bullshit, because it is bullshit. And for the first time, really, to me, we're effectively going to criticize the psychology of the archbishop. Usually that's kind of hard to do, I think, because they're so twisted and broken that it doesn't make anything like sense, but wrath makes something close to sense. Something really close to sense. She despises wrath, wants people's hearts to be filled with joy, and believes that that's what she's doing. That she's connecting people and making them more capable of hearing each other. But instead of making people more connected and more human, she's zombifying them and turning them into these mindless, linked mobs that all feel the same thing, that like there's all conformity to them and they all march in the same direction. Which is to say, she's Facebook. Right? Wrong? Okay. Back up. Maybe I have to express this differently. Social media networks on surface have a goal, which is to connect people. And they fundamentally do. They create connections between people. But the actual result of those connections is not a bunch of people interacting effectively and sharing their ideas with one another. It is instead homogeneity. It is instead a populace that thinks as one and is harmed by the same things as one. I could probably go through a dozen present news stories or things that are happening in the world right now, and I bet that everyone who I speak to would have the same set of ideas around them because we've shared the same set of ideas and we're all sort of on the same page about them. And for the most part, we'd all pretty much agree, divided down a couple of lines, we'd all pretty much agree with each other as to what was happening. And we'd have sort of similar emotional responses too. That's not the result of, like, true connection based on empathy and understanding. It's a result of mass media hypnosis, almost. I see a real strong parallel here that I think is really interesting, that's totally irrelevant to the storytelling that's happening, but maybe potentially quite relevant to the outside world, that saying these things that you want to build true connections based on empathy and understanding is not the same as doing them. And we need to look at the results of the interactions. Through her not giving a fuck and her strong, like super strong independence and individualism is sort of what we're making the strength here for Priscilla. Priscilla just does not engage with this at all. And it's almost as though her refusal to engage makes her immune. That's what it seems to be. It's like a refusal to get baited into emotionally engaging with Romani Conti at all means that Priscilla remains herself, solid in herself, and immune to all the bullshit that Romani Conti tries to throw at her. I think it's really cool. There's a subtext of not giving a fuck about this that Priscilla creates here. And Liliana fully calls it out. Huh? Can't you see the people around us? Is this what you think empathy looks like? This isn't empathy, this is disgusting. If you really want to share, then listen to my fucking music. Clang. All right. Now you've revealed your true colors. So what you just said is that the need is to connect to the truth that's in other people's hearts. Liliana just expressed the truth that's in her heart, but Romani Conti, it's contradictory to her. And so she tries to silence it. But that goes against her statement, right? We're trying to connect everybody except the people who disagree with me. We're trying to create open discussions and places where people can share ideas, right? We're all in favor of sharing ideas. We're all in favor of sharing information and understanding each other. Good, good, good. But not you. Because you dared to call me out for not actually living up to that. You simply silence that which is inconvenient. Wow. What a fascinating little tangle. I am reminded so strongly of social media networks, and I'm reminded of political discussions, and really, really discussions around what is allowed to be included in discourse. Because on the surface, every forum portrays themselves as an open forum, because it's one of the virtues of a forum, of a discussion space, but to some degree or another, they are not so. To what degree and for what purpose? For the silencing of that which is inconvenient? Yes. Certainly. Certainly. I must remain vigilant for that sort of behavior in myself. That's my takeaway from this, is that I need to remain vigilant for that sort of behavior in myself. Just like maybe when I understand him better, I'll be able to remain vigilant for the kind of indignation that Regulus Corneus presents. This willingness to silence that which is inconvenient needs to be evaluated and watched out for. I would never give in to an impulse. You just heard something that sounded unpleasant, and it enraged you. Do not write the wrath of my precious and I, the one and only gift. Laughable. I have had 8. What the fuck, Priscilla? Don't blame me for your lack of charm. He and I loved each other deeply. Shatter, shatter, shatter. Okay, so. I need not my full attention. Do not presume. Pioneer's flames. What the fuck? White fire that consumes only what she decrees? What kind of god are you, Priscilla? I don't know. It's all their fault. But that's why I can't lose heart now. This is the grand stage of a lifetime. I'm going to cram all the passion in my body into it. She starts with her mother's line. So listen good. Listen to my song. And that carries us here. So she says, I'm going to pour every bit of passion in my body into this, and we get to see it. I love it. I love it. I love this. We dive into her mind, really, is what it feels like to me. And where we go is that heartfelt ideal, I'm going to be a great hero. Blam, to the truth, to reality. Oh, heartbreaking. Perfect. It's a desperate life. It's a desperate choice. What a strange thing it is. Why is it that choosing to be a bard leads you down a path like this? I guess it's because you have to give up everything that was before. I guess it's because you're setting out on your own for some grand personal goal, and because before you set out on that goal, you don't know what reality is. And so you end up getting smacked down by reality real good. I relate really strongly to this because when I set out on my own journey of speaking to people, I did so from a place of hardship, of not knowing whether I'd be able to make a next meal from it, you know? And so I relate to that really strongly, but also to this drive, this this is the only path that I can take. I have to go this way. And then deeply do I relate to finding people who would, like, to my great surprise, support me in that. and performing. And little by little, it becomes possible. It registers as possible. Full of struggle and danger and failure. You know, it never gets easier to post a video that doesn't get great viewership. It's heartbreaking, but it's not like it would dissuade me from the path. And then she covers her face in front of her own parents, even though she wants to reach out. It's not because she's ashamed. Not quite. But like, well, she hasn't become a great bard yet. So how can she look at them, having left, without having achieved something good enough to justify her decision to leave? That's what it feels like to me, but maybe that's because that's what it is to me. Maybe I need to evaluate that. Because in a strange way, I am so proud of what I do and what I've accomplished doing it. Thousands of videos. We've gone through and explored decades, different eras, dozens and dozens of incredibly interesting ideas, and all the while loading those discussions as much and as strongly as I can with the kind of love and care for the art form that I think enables people to be changed by it, to let it into their own hearts. And yet I am reluctant to tell people what I do sometimes. And I feel ashamed for not being like more of a standalone creative. And then ashamed that I'm not on the paths that are expected of someone like me, that I'm not the computer programmer making six figures or whatever that I'm supposed to be. And so I really relate to this feeling from Liliana too. This is how a bard should be, walking side by side with music, living together with their song. There's something else about it, is that there's this romantic ideal of what the thing is that has nothing to do with the thing itself. That one can live in a delusion of a goal. And like, treat a pursuit as though it is an aesthetic pursuit as opposed to an aesthetic pursuit. And hurt oneself in that asceticism. It's important not to do that. And I've done that before. To go too far into it, you know, to disengage from the rest of the world and become too hyper-focused on it. And that's what Liliana does here as she's stumbling. Her heart is about to explode. And it's no true hero, no true Scotsman, no true hero would die at a time like this. At the beginning of their journey before they've made it as a hero. But like, no, the ones that become heroes are the ones that live through that. But it's Liliana's ideas of hero that trap her into this place, that back her into a corner where she has to hurt herself. That's right, a hero wouldn't. She looks in the mirror and says, I'm no hero. I'm really struck by this because it's just a couple episodes ago that I looked right at you and I said, I'm no hero. With the same fucking tone. But mine had a but at the end of it. I'm no hero, but. Because I know something that Liliana here doesn't know. Is that a hero thing is a perspective thing, but a willingness to do heroic things is just a willingness thing. That's just a doing stuff thing. This would never happen to Reed or Flugel. I've just been taking the liberty of telling people their stories. I'm just a conduit for it. And this is where I started to cry, I think, because this hurt me. I don't mean like, oh, this hurts me, but like this hits me in a powerful way because I am just a conduit, more so even than Liliana. She says I'm a thief. I'm no more than a thief. And man, if there's an element of what I do that weighs on me, it's this. And it scares me in a genuine way. I am not sure that reacting to and speaking about other people's content is a valid form. And yet, at the same time, I'm so sure that it's a valid form because discussing and looking at a thing together makes magic happen between us. But I'm as someone with a burgeoning desire to create and a deep-held desire to respect the creations of others, I feel like I'm failing on both counts. That we're just like rehashing and recapitulating what the show already has. And it's kind of an internal struggle for me to convince myself that there's something valuable about the thinking about it and to push myself to do that valuable part as much as I possibly can. And to not get caught in the trap of being a passive observer of the thing, but turn this into what I know that it can be. That it can be an active revitalization of the story, that a novel emergent thing can occur between my mind and the story, in the observation, and that I can express that through speech in a way that really affects other people. But all of that is balanced by this worry for me that what I'm doing is taking inordinately from creators who have put themselves out there, and that what I am doing is not signal boosting, but taking from them. That scares me in a deep and genuine sense, and I want to, in every way that I can, avoid taking from them and focus on boosting signals, right? And expressing things again. Because I think there's grand value in singing a song about a story, in telling a story a different way, in talking about how a story has affected you, in expressing what it feels like to experience a thing, especially with your own insights built into it. I think those things elevate and create a totally new piece of art, that there's something novel made out of that. But on my worst days, I feel like I'm just useless. Just a thief. Taking the power, the emotive power of an extant story and repeating it for nothing. For what? To pat myself on the back for understanding it? Something like that. I hope, like, these are heartbreaking words that I'm saying, I think. And I hope that it's clear to you that that mostly that's not how I think about this. But sometimes I get really worried and really scared that what I'm doing is bad. I think, maybe that's the best indication that even regardless of whether what you're doing is bad, that you're not trying to, that you're not being malicious and doing it, is this worry that what you're doing isn't good enough. But at the same time, that doesn't alleviate it, it doesn't help me really set myself at ease. So Liliana in this dark moment, when she's at the edge and at the end of her rope, she's ready to give it up, kind of. No more than a thief. So then what exactly is a bard? And that's a good fucking question, because it serves as a bit of an answer. Maybe that's important. As is. Maybe stories need to be told and heard. And maybe there's something valuable to hearing and and talking about stories. What exactly is a bard? If that's what a bard is, and being a bard is considered okay, then do it wholeheartedly. But we don't answer the question directly. We get instead one of the most striking scenes of ReZero full stop. A kind of scene that it grabs an ethereality, but that's not really the word. The word that I'm looking for is numinous. Filled with or characterized by a sense of a supernatural presence, or spiritually elevated sublime, or appealing to the aesthetic sensibility. Something about this morning scene when she awakens is transcendent. It tells us something without telling us something, and so I have to be really careful when we dive into this. The closest that I think we've had was Amelia in the trial, in the past space, before she dives into the water. Somewhere in that realm is where we are, but instead of being in a strange spiritual place, we're just with Liliana, and she's awakening to a spiritual understanding of the world. Water drips upon her, and she wakes and stumbles forward. She walks out of the darkness of this confused forest into a clearing and finds, to her desperate thirst, clean, clear, beautiful water. And it was just over the bend from where she had stopped. She drinks and she drinks. She looks up in a moment of peace and silence, and we rotate around her. And there's this moment in Jujutsu Kaisen when Gojo is like soaring above everything, and he quotes the Buddha. He quotes, "Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one." That's what this moment feels like. Not in that Liliana is transcending and becoming a Buddha or a Bodhisattva, but in that she is experiencing a moment of harmony with all of reality. And it's hard to wrap your mind around this unless you've had it happen, but you can have this happen. You have a moment where you realize that you're a part of a whole thing. We do this in the scene. It's the birds chirping, it's the sunlight, it's the scenario, it's the trees. And it's all music. It's all one song. Different notes and different melodies. All waveforms, all vibrations, all in harmony, strangely, even in their chaos, all in harmony. The chaotic din is just a crescendo that lulls back into the rest of the thing, that drops into the death of the creature that's killed and becomes a new build of a new concerto of microscopic life. An experience that is way beyond the norm of our normal, small, sliced-in experience. An experience that Liliana has after privation, after a moment of not having enough to eat and drink. She finds herself in this circle, and it's the camera trick that we use that ties it all together so perfectly. We start rotating around her, and we jump out of the rotation and back into it. Out of the rotation to a second element, and then back into it, and we're rotating around, and then out. And by doing that, this is all one moment as Liliana looks around, and all these elements are taken into her mind at once, like harmonies, like bass and melody, and all these parts put together, and she feels them all at once, and it's a song. It presents itself to her in the language that she knows. Whatever that language would be. For some people it's different. It's an art piece, a visual element or something, but for her it's a song. For a lot of people it's a song. In part because it might actually be a song. It's like weird to go back to Symphogear, but that's one of the things that Symphogear makes me think, is that reality is a song. and that the fact of its harmony with itself is fascinating and beyond comprehension, and yet right there on the edge of obviousness. Like, how could it be any other way? But Liliana spins in this moment and looks around, and we pull out. This is all. Kore wa uta da. She begins to weep. And she has such a strange reaction. She rushes out into the river, bashes her hands around as though it's too much to take, as though it's too much to take in. It's too much emotion. I have that feeling pretty regularly. And I have to spaz the fuck out sometimes because I'm overwhelmed by emotion. Sometimes by the beauty of things all coming together, and sometimes by a desperate need to do something, to act, to make something happen. Like a fervor builds up and you have to do something. She rushes out into the river and bashes her little hands around and ends up here on her back. And all this emotion, all this tension bursts into this big smile as it becomes a song in her mind. As it becomes a creation, an output. And it's like, this is the answer to her question about whether she's just a thief. And it's really strange because this doesn't answer the question, but this is the answer. Is that you're not a thief, you're a funnel. You're not, you're not repeating, you're refining. That what you're doing is taking in this wealth of experience that is the inexpressible, ineffable numinousness of reality itself, and you're conveying that through, in this case, sung word, through vibrations in the air, through song. You're adding another piece of melody to it. Oh. And when you speak the right melody in response to hearing another one, you're not stealing it, you're harmonizing with it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to add a harmonious voice to the great voices of the past. I don't want to do a cover that steals their song. I don't want to reproduce and steal their song. I want to add a harmony. Because doing that can change everything. It can change the whole emotional tone of it. It can add so much. It can build a single instrumental line into something fabulous. I want to add harmonies, and I want to sing my own fucking songs. And I want to point people in the direction of really great ones. I'm sorry for using this moment of the episode to restructure my worldview around art and creation, but hey, this is what we're here for. This is what I'm here for, at least. I want to resonate. I want to signal boost. I want to harmonize. I want to point people in cool directions. And I want to do it all ethically if I can. As ethically as possible. Big, wide smile. A song has come to me. And indeed it has. And the song is a song of hope. Out of the darkness comes the morning. It comes for everyone. A blue sky that overtakes the morning glow. And she sings a similar song, maybe a refined version of it, I'm not sure. Do you really think your song will reach anyone? Impossible. A new day begins. The true morning finally arrives. So we fold Kiritaka into this. It's cute. It feels weird to me. I just don't get it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I do get it. I think I get it. I wish that it was more clearly spelled out, though. Because there's a missing piece of glue, which is the glue between Liliana having this revelation moment and beginning to sing properly, sing herself, and then, like, the piece that's missing is her not having the voice to spread it out there, to, like, really get it out there, and Kiritaka giving her that. Because that, I think, is the thing that's, like, that's cool here, but we're missing the part where she lacks it. We get the part where she gets it, but it comes right from where she's already singing to an audience, right? She's singing to an audience, and then she's just singing to a bigger audience. And I feel like there's a missing piece in there where it's like Kiritaka proves his worth to her by seeing what she really cares about and being able to give it to her. There's something that's missing there. I feel like that's probably in the light novel and just not here. So let me know. The songstress is for everyone and Liliana is just for me. That part is pretty cute. And the fact that he is supporting her in her goals and dreams and stuff, using his power, awesome. It's really cool. The blue sky overtakes the morning glow, and your evaluation was not mistaken. There is a difference between a simpleton and a fool. Which one is she called, Subaru? A fool, right? Far more than mere amusement. Some really awesome poses from Priscilla throughout this. And just unshakableness is what we sort of really push forward for Priscilla here. Unshakableness, and on the flip side from Wrath, this complete chaos of emotions, completely out of control. So she strikes out with all this and explodes the whole fucking thing. What are you doing to my property? And then she strikes with all the things all at once, straight down to the eyes, and we see Priscilla's body shatter. Actually chopped up, right? And then we end this, king, and she's fine. Ha! And then the thing shatters, the hairpiece. Pow! So that's fucking cool. And I love that it's the hairpiece too, and we sort of unrestrained Priscilla is what we get here. Ah, perfect. Mad Max. All I can think is Mad Max. Why is this Mad Max? I don't know, but it is. It's so Mad Max. It's so metal. It's so metal. Playing the guitar as the fucking building falls. Oh, so metal. People, okay. Romani Conti says a bunch of things, and each one of them Priscilla answers without ever answering, just by completely dismissing you. Again, I think this is what keeps Priscilla really safe from her. People wish for understanding and empathy above all. Foolish wench. You're stupid. So these moments are gorgeous. Love means becoming one. Wrong. No. And she has a response there. Love is tolerantly accepting each other despite your differences. Fascinating. She has had 8 husbands after all. Perhaps some of them she learned from the relationships. Fucking interesting. She has a real answer here. Love is not becoming one. Love is not homogeneity. Love is accepting another despite your differences. Potent stuff. What you've got, everyone facing the same direction is thinking the same things. It's revolting. Clang. Ching, 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 ching. Shattered. Over. Actually, you are going to pity this, and your love is going to prevent you from... She fully ignores it. Slice through. Coolest shot of the episode. Shing. Fully prevent you from speaking. Enough drivel. Enough bullshit. Priscilla is not bound by your expectations at all. Neither is her sword. It doesn't cut the way that swords cut. There's something about this that's like, that's the nature of her personality. You know? Like, I am my own person, and all of your universal statements about what love means and what everybody wants don't apply to me, and I'd prefer if you stopped saying them. And just that, like, cuts straight through to the core of Romane Conti's everyone is just like me and feels the same things. It's just like, you're just projecting, fam. That's not the way it is. And with a simple strike, bam, and then another, I could not care less. Romane Conti, Archbishop of Wrath, embracing her delusions, is chopped up and cast into the waves. Do you understand my pain? How cool is this? Oh, it's so cool. I love villains who just want to be understood, who like want to make the world feel what they feel. And Romane Conti's such a weird variant of that. It's cool. I wish it was more explicitly spelled out exactly what she thinks and exactly how it works, because that kind of stuff gives me meat to sink my teeth into. But leaving it in subtext like this and just being like, we don't need to understand your bullshit. You're twisted, lady. Get gone. Ah, what a breath of fresh air. What a breath of fresh air from Priscilla. So much, you know what it is? It's like so much of anime conflict resolution has to do with ideological conflicts getting solved, and so much of good protagonists, good as in what a good boy protagonists, like Tanjiro, for example, the nature of their protagonism, or even like Gon sometimes, the nature of, well, I guess Gon's actually a really interesting, different, okay, throw that away. Let's stick with Tanjiro. He's a very good boy, and kind of what he does when he finds a villain is he, like, through coming to understand you in fullness, I'll find your weakness, and with peace and love and empathy put you to rest, right? And it's through the understanding of you that we, like, root for the main character to have the victory, because he comes to understand the villain but then disagree, right? And hold on to his own ideals. Here, it's like, it's such a breath of fresh air. It's like, you know what? I actually don't care. The truth of the matter is, your ideas are poison, and I don't need to engage with them. Leave. Be gone. I think the problem for me is you don't gain anything from the interplay between ideas if you act that way. But if you know that the other person is spouting bullshit, and you know that you're solid in your own self, there's no reason to listen to their bullshit. Which is really interesting. It flies in the face of, like, a strong social norm that I think we view as virtuous, near universally virtuous, as, like, taking other people seriously and believing in their good faith, right? Priscilla doesn't care. I don't give a fuck. No fucks given. And I think that that's an attitude that will be necessary for certain types of for surviving certain forms of sociopolitical discourse in the coming age. Let's put it that way. It's also going to be very scary, because if people are wholeheartedly believe themselves completely 100% solid in their own beliefs, and you can't convince them otherwise, then there is no room but battle and death. Then we reach impasses that will be solved only with blood. And I do believe that that is a direction that we might be heading, that people will cease to interact and listen to each other. Here, for Priscilla, it's the right thing to do because Romane Conti is insane. But it's really easy to label everyone who disagrees with you as insane and say, I'm not going to listen to you. If you do that to the whole left or the whole right or the whole of Reddit or the whole of YouTube or the whole of, I don't know, all the poor, all the rich, right? and all their ideas are guaranteed to be wrong, and I'm going to hold strong to my own beliefs, well, then we're going to go to war. The end game of that is battle and death. So I'd love to have the ability to communicate first. But if they really are an enemy, then we need to learn from Priscilla and say, fuck you, I don't care, die alone, go away, bye-bye. Unfortunately, the body splashes into the water, which means to me that she's 100% not dead. That's what that means to me. That scares me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That fucking sucks. She looks down and her sword is glowing, and she's like, something sunlight. You're really lucky that I didn't kill you worse. I don't know what that means, but maybe Priscilla has even greater power that we have not yet seen. How senseless, but it was not bad. And Kiritaka dives in to save her, which is really cute. Okay. I'm glad to be your songstress. And then on the other side of the world, we've discovered what your real flaw is, and we're going to go mess with your wives in order to make you vulnerable. Finally. Cool. Cool. Another solid episode of ReZero Season 3. I really like that we're switching fights the way that we are, and I really enjoyed the fight between Priscilla and Romani Conti. I don't think that battle is over by any stretch, which scares me. I have so many more questions about Priscilla than I did before, and I'm comfortable not asking them because it looks like she's going to get really angry if we ask too many questions of her, and I don't want to get cut up by the sword that only burns what she wants it to burn. But what the fuck, Priscilla? What? She's really cool. And so is Liliana. The portions of this episode that spoke to Liliana really spoke to me. The portions that had Priscilla in them were cool and hot and flaming and spicy and full of awesome action. And I couldn't have asked for more from an action-focused episode of the show. It nailed some really solid beats, had an emotional impact on me, and moves us along forward to the next one perfectly. So, I'm pleased, I hope you are too, and I'll see you next week for the next episode, when it looks like we will turn our attention once more to Regulus Corneus and his wives. Thanks so much for watching me watch this episode of ReZero. I'll see you next week for more. Much love. Peace.